There was a neighborhood bar that my wife Dee and I frequented in our neighborhood. Occasionally, she would play her flirting game when we were there, but tonight it was to be different. She was made up in her usual smoky eyeshadow, and dark red lips highlighted her green eyes and auburn shoulder-length hair. She was wearing a tight low-cut white tank top and her short black skirt that I loved so much. My wife was a smoke show. Typically, we talked about our children, family, and friends while at the bar. Abruptly, she stopped and gave me a sultry smile. She was sitting at the table with her back to the bar as she subtly shifted in her seat, catching my attention. "Oh my God!" I exclaimed as quietly as I could. Fortunately, it was moderately noisy in the bar. She leaned in closer and asked, should I go up to the bar to find someone to talk to? If you're lucky, you might see him pay a little extra attention to me. I know you'd like that. She grinned with pleasure at the look in my eyes. She was right. She leaned forward, and I couldn't help but notice the way she caught my gaze. "I'll see you soon," she purred, winking at me. Standing up, she strolled languorously up to the bar. In no time, she found someone. Sitting down next to him, Dee spent the next hour talking and flirting. He bought her drinks. They laughed. She lightly touched his arm, and her hand lingered on his shoulder. I watched them exchange smiles, lightly at first, then more openly. He wrapped his arm around her shoulder, then gently rested his hand on her back. She glanced back towards me and smiled playfully. It was 11 p.m. I didn't want to wait. I was ready to leave. I dialed her phone in a prearranged signal indicating that I was ready to go. I watched her turn to him and apologize. I was almost close enough to hear her say that her husband had arrived home and she had to go. Apparently, she surprisingly offered to put his number into her phone. As she entered it, she demurred when he asked for hers, holding up her left hand and displaying her wedding band. We walked separately out of the bar and rushed to our car. I opened the back door, and she hesitated for a moment. "Let's wait until we get home," she suggested. "It will be worth the wait, I promise." Oh God. I tried not to break any speed limits in my hurry to get her home and into our bed. I was unsuccessful, but fortunately, we made it without incident. We raced to our bedroom and frantically threw our clothes onto the floor. Taking my phone, she went to my playlist and selected Enigma's Chardenas Part 1, reminding me of how much she enjoyed that song. As the sensual music began to play, she climbed onto the bed and relaxed against the pillows. She looked at me and said, "I'm ready for you." "You enjoyed your evening," I laughed. "Oh, I did." "Come closer," she invited. Putting my head next to hers, we shared a quiet moment. I could tell she was content. She then asked me to lay down next to her and hold her close. Groan. "I promised you it would be worth the wait to be with me at home rather than in the backseat of our car, remember?" She knew just how to get my attention. I lay against her warm body, my head on her chest as we relaxed together. "You know I love spending time with you," she said softly. She reached for her phone on the nightstand and handed it to me. "New photos of us?" she asked excitedly. "No." "Something special?" she asked. "No, but I'm sure you'll love this." She opened her contact list and handed her phone to me. There was one new entry. "Jason." I groaned. "That isn't the best part." "Look closer." I looked at her contact list uncomprehendingly. Then, I saw it. She had added him to her favorites. "That's a bit unexpected," I said, raising an eyebrow. "I knew you would find that interesting." "Should I call him?" "Why would you do that?" she asked. "Just to chat, maybe meet up with him at the bar." "Would it surprise you if I went back to meet him tonight?" I gave her a knowing smile. Pulling her close to me, I whispered, "You know what I'd prefer." We lay together, enjoying the quiet comfort of each other's presence. Waking sometime later, I discovered that she was no longer in bed. It was after 2 a.m. There was no response when I called out to her. Going down to the kitchen for a glass of water, I wondered where she was. Then, I saw it. The note on the refrigerator door. At the bar. Next to the note was a picture of her wearing the same makeup and outfit she had worn earlier that night. I knew, however, how much she loved surprising me. Convinced that she was somewhere in the house playing a little game of a hide-and-seek, I went to the bedroom and grabbed my phone to call her. Her ringtone would give her away, I thought cleverly. No, that was too obvious. She had likely turned her phone off. Thinking to outsmart her, I opened the Family Tracker app, certain that she wouldn't think to turn her phone off completely. I was right. She hadn't turned her phone off. She was at the bar. I sighed, amused at her playful nature. Taking the photo she had left on the refrigerator back to our bed, I lay back, wondering what she might be doing at that moment. Then, I noticed what she had written on the back of the photo. I know you're probably thinking about what I'm up to right now. Instead of guessing, call me. I'll put my phone on speaker. I smiled to myself, appreciating the fun she always brought into our lives.